Yo, what up? It is the 11th of July, 2024. It is currently 10:25 p.m. on a Thursday, and we've got a lovely rainy day today, and a letter. Dear Spoon, I was thinking about you while drinking my tea, which is strange because you only drink coffee. Oh, she knows. Actually is, correct because of there being no other option in this game but tea. You can't drink anything in this game but tea. Like, at all. It's not even water. I mean, there is water, but you can't drink it. I suppose you can eat fruit, and the fruit can have juices in it, and technically you drink that. Having someone visit your house is proof that they're your friend, huh? Yeah, I'd sure like to see your place too. You've seen it before, not right now. Must be busy too. Sorry I even mentioned it. Yeah, no problem. I'll, forgive you eventually. Oh wait, let's talk to Hugh while we've got him right here. Guess it rained all day long. Really? Tell me, do you like black roses, gold roses, or me the best? Whatever. Oh boss, you always say the coldest things. You're no fun at all. Sorry. I only said it because I've got that dialogue tree before and I wanted to pick a different option. I love how you can't even choose him. It's kind of messed up. Because I mean, I think, you know, like those sorts of connections are more important than any stupid flower you can come across. Unless I guess you've got connections with the flower, in which case, I don't know, that just sounds like a whole other can of worms that I'm not willing to open at the moment. Oh, a gyroid. Missed it yesterday, I guess. A tall oboid. Oh no, I have all the oboids. That's a callback. That's an easy way of remembering. I should make an episode title after every single type of gyroid that I have all of, and then this will be a lot easier. Wait. Just sorting my tools and everything. Doo-doo-da-doo. Every clearance sale. Everything's on clearance sale. Weed. There's a weed here. Nope, thing flew away. So, when do I go back to university? I don't go back next week, but the week after. Wendell's here today. I don't care. Yeah, so the week after is when I go back, and then I'll be on it. I think I talked about my schedule, my plan. I think this schedule went through my schedule for it already. But I guess not. Basically, the plan is, like, I'm not going to be like, physically there for most days out of the week. Only 2. And one of them is, like, a full day thing where I've got one thing in the morning and one thing in the afternoon. And by being there, you know, for most of that day, then I'll, I think, be better. Working, I guess. I don't know. That's the idea, at least. Just look at this dress. It's one of Scott's signature designs. It has this unique tree-out style to it. I just want to buy it all. Should replace all of those designs. I'm sick of them wearing them. I want to have designs they wear that they make me think I'm cool. Make them think that I'm cool. But yeah, so I guess, you know, my next semester I gotta, well, I'm gonna step up. I'm gonna step up my game, I reckon. Get my first A+. Maybe not. We'll see. I don't know. I try not to be too judgmental going into classes based off of the names, but some of the names are very boring sounding and not fun. But, you know, you gotta go in with a positive mindset, I guess. The other day I ran into Fork. Made me think, poor kid. As usual. Yeah. Yeah, but I got a lot of writing-related courses this semester. And, you know, I like writing, so I got a poetry class, which I'm like, you know, the thing with poetry is that it's sort of like, well, you know, you're, I guess when you learn about it in school, at least this is what happened to me and most people I know when this happened, was you sort of learn about it and there's that realization that, like, poetry is more than just, like, you know, passages with rhyming, like, words in it. It's, like, got more to do with the way the words are arranged rather than if they rhyme or not. When you have a big meal, do you eat your favorite food first or do you save it for last? I save it for last. Exactly the same way, I always save my favorite thing until the very end, except when I'm cooking. I nibble here and there, and then I get totally full. Then I wind up just giving it to Pango so that at least someone enjoys it. But yeah, but with poetry, you know, there's rhythm to it is the main thing. It's not about rhyming, but about rhythm. Which, you know, I think it's a fun form of writing. I think, you know, I'm not super into reading poetry. I find trying to extrapolate meaning from it to be very, like, I don't know. I don't find it particularly interesting, I guess. I see you have an eye for really cool stuff. Yep, you're 100% right. This net is super pricey brand name one. The quality, even bugs can probably appreciate it, right? Probably. But yeah, you know, poetry's about rhythm. Oh yeah, no, I was just saying, reading poetry, I just don't, you know, whatever. But, you know, writing it, yeah, sure. But I mean, obviously for a poetry class, you do have to read poetry, so that you know. But I don't know. I always feel like sometimes with, like, whenever I go into classes, it feels like the bar is not set very high. Just in general, which I guess they're doing to feel accessible, but it usually makes me feel comfortable. At least with the, you know, writing classes that I've got. They're just so, you know, I don't know. Hey, Antonio. Yo, what up? Quick favor, could you go over to Tangy's? You gotta deal with it within 30 minutes. Alright. We can do that. We don't have much going on today, I guess. Yeah, but I don't think my poetry class is going to be very difficult. Because the thing is with any sort of thing, like, school or any you know, like, thing where you've got to make art for, like, a project, you know, obviously you know, there's a lot of, like, you know, because there's no objective way to make art. So if you make a decision and it's like, you know, there's no, like, I guess, standard of quality outside of, you know, demonstrating that you've, you know, put thought into what you're doing. Which, in other words, means that if you, you know, make a thoughtless decision, and you need to justify it, you can just make up a justification, and then, you know, they're none the wiser. I'm not saying I would ever do that, of course, but if one were to, you know, want to get a leg up, then they certainly could do that. Because that's the thing with, mainly my animation courses I've found, where it's very, like, you have to, you know, do a lot of, it's justification, but also, like, explanation of what you've done. And, like, that is, like, can be a big, like, marking part, because marking the actual work is, like, not as easy to do on its own. Especially because, you know, if you just faked a thing, I don't know how you would fake a thing, but, you know, it depends, I guess. If you stole something, whatever, then, you know, in theory, you wouldn't be able to show the process, so it's showing that you did it, and also that you know what you were doing when you did it, I guess. Yeah, but with poetry, it's like, I don't know, I just think poetry it's pretty basic, from what I understand of it, I guess. I mean, I'm not an expert in the field or anything. But it's a style of writing. It's not one that I'm probably gonna do, as a career path, like when I, you know, start writing for industry. I already checked here. I completely forgot. But, you know, it's good to know how to write in all forms of styles, even if you don't plan to use said styles. Just how it's useful in drawing and art to, you know, be able to draw certain things, or be able to show that you can draw certain things, certain techniques, even if you don't plan to, draw it. Like, for me, most of my style is always, like, cartoony. I don't usually go for realism, but knowing realism is still important. Especially because there's, famous stuff about this where, knowing conventions is the only way to be able to break conventions. You gotta be... Because if you don't break convention properly, then it just kind of comes across as you not knowing what you're doing. Like that's with like like caricatures. Like obviously those don't abide by anatomy, but what they understand. You have to understand anatomy to be able to do caricatures because you've got to know what the average person looks like, because that's what you do, right? You exaggerate certain features, and you wouldn't know what features to exaggerate if you don't know what anatomy looks like. And that's just one example. Yeah, but with writing at least, there's lots of forms. There's, creative writing, like, creative writing encapsulates basically every bit of writing, except for, like, I guess, like, writing, I don't know, there's very few things that don't constitute as creative writing. Like, I guess, transcribing something wouldn't be creative writing. Like, you're not putting any creativity in it. You're specifically not. You're, just, writing something down word for word. But, most creative writing... So, like, even... Hell, writing in, like, a textbook or something technically is creative writing. Assuming that, said writing is coming from the person's own mouth, I guess. If they're just copying a bunch of... Well, not copying, but, using a bunch of other examples. But, blurbs are creative writing. Preambles are creative writing. Basically, anything that you write that you have to put any amount of thought into independently is creative writing. So there's a whole wide range of stuff, and I'm sorry I'm running around like this, but I'm trying to find Buck. I don't even know why I'm bothering, because I don't like him or anything, but that gives me an excuse to talk, I guess. Oh, never mind. Excuse is over. He said the savage drops of night. Oh, like raindrops. Didn't you tell me once that you can deliver things as fast as a pro courier? I don't remember ever telling you anything. Okay, Tangy. Tangy is very popular today. Good answer. Good answer, good answer. Yeah, but I've actually found a fascination to RA, I suppose, interest more so in creative non-fiction as opposed to creative fiction. Creative fiction being, like, books, mostly. Because I find creative non-fiction is... I don't find it more interesting, I suppose, but I guess what I mean to say is that I find it interesting because whereas creative fiction is sort of about creative writing fiction is about, like, sort of it's about, like, I guess taking the world that we know and expanding it, making more. Like, sci-fi is looking into the future, and like horror is looking into, scary stuff. Like, you're taking what we know of the world and you're adding to it, or you're changing it, or something like that. The creative nonfiction, on the other hand, is the opposite of that. It's looking inwards in our world. It's looking at our world and then going even, like, deeper in. And I find that more interesting to me because, I don't know, I just find something so appealing about knowing more about the world, or just looking more into the world, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of a thing I've realized. Powerhouse Tangy, thanks for the good words. Means a lot to me. A bottle cap, you and me. Sounds like fun. Wait, what? A bottle cap, you and me. Sounds like fun. What does that even mean? I'm not going to question it. All you can say is that this is totally Buck. Okay. I'll say hello to him, I guess. But yeah, I mean, no, but I have a lot of respect for creative writers, because it's a very difficult thing, or fiction writers. I still get caught up in that distinction, because it takes a lot to not only be able to write, build a world, and then also have characters believably interact with each other within that world, and and making all of that interesting. That's really hard to do. That's why books take so long to make, because of like how much there is to it. And it is more than just getting all the words down, because you have to know so much about your own world uh, before you start writing, really. And that's kind of why it's why when a story's written poorly, it's kind of easy to tell, because the world building itself can be weak, because you can tell they haven't put very much thought into the way the world actually works. Whereas something that has something I guess in the best stories, you don't know, you haven't seen the full world. Like, the writer knows the more about the universe than you do, whereas in stories that are written not as well, you probably are on a more equal level of understanding of what the world is like, to the writer. The writer, is the god of the world. It'd be like, it's the equivalent of, us, if God is real. I guess I've been over that. Us understanding more than God, or understanding as much as God about the world. So like that would be, it wouldn't be bad writing. It would just be, I guess, God giving away too many secrets. But it's that equivalent, right? Like, the creator of a universe, of a good universe at least, knows like a ton of stuff, and the average, the audience isn't going to see all that stuff. But I think deriving enjoyment from making a world is part of the process, and that's kind of why it's very artistically fulfilling, because it has you exploring a lot of different ideas and concepts. But anyway, that's going to be it for today. And it wasn't a very long one today, mainly because I didn't have to water the plants. But sometimes you'll like it like that. But anyway, it's going to be it for today.